Avatar: The Last Airbender, a show that's been revered as a masterpiece of media and critically acclaimed across the board. But why is that? Let's talk about it. Are forms going to be Pokemon's newest recurring gimmick? Spider-Man is now officially out of the MCU. Should Crash Bash get a remaster? Do you remember Splashdown Rides Gone Wild? So what do gamers really want from the next console generation? Invader Zim enter the Florpus. When in the world is GTA 6 going to drop? Let's talk about it. What's going on, guys? J.Bandicoot here, back with J.Bandicoot Season 2. It's been a long time coming, but I decided that Avatar: The Last Airbender is what I wanted to talk about to usher in this new era. So we're taking a look at Avatar and what made it so great. I recently binge-watched the entire series and got a fresh reminder as to just how awesome this show is, and I completely forgot some vital aspects that drove home that fact, and I even picked up on aspects of the show I was completely oblivious to. And these points are what I want to share with you today. So first off, the very concept of the show is great on paper. Different nations that represent different aspects and cultures of the world through their respective elements of bending. You've got the air nomads, who are a peaceful people due to the gentle nature of the air. You've got the water tribes, who are helpful, kind, flexible, and fluid due to the life-bringing and fluid nature of water. You have the Earth Kingdom, a nation that's built on organization, efficiency, and structure, just as the Earth itself is. And you've got the Fire Nation, a nation built upon passion, drive, and tenacity just like fire. The inclusion of these subtle lifestyles bring the world to life and bring cohesive and diverse stories to the show, which helps in keeping the show fresh. As Aang continues his quest to master all four elements as the Avatar, he has to undergo several different lifestyle changes and other changes in his very way of thinking as well. The journey sees him go through the three elements that he needs to learn, each being very different than the last. Accompanied with his expertise in airbending and insight on the air nomads, the four elements and nations provide a deep level of immersion and interest when Aang goes to learn something new in these areas and experiences something completely different. But the diversity doesn't stop with these elements, pun intended. The show also takes a deep dive into the emotional level of the characters as well as the viewers. The inclusion of rich and philosophical discussions are extremely present in this show, covering everything from internal struggles, depression, trust issues, self-doubt, anxiety, the lust for power, and so much more. These kinds of issues are prominently explored through the use of Uncle Iroh, who provides a wise voice of reason for both the characters and the viewers of the show. Iroh isn't the only example of this, however, as despite his large involvement in these elements, almost every other main character of the show experiences their own emotional arcs and helps their character development immensely. This is one of the huge reasons why this show is beloved, as the character development is literally out of this world. If you watch the pilot episode back to back with the final episode, you can visually see the differences in each character, showing how much they've grown in the course of the series. This makes the characters much more interesting and diverse, and helps them attach to the viewer and allow them to become more interested in the show as a whole. On the same side of that coin, the inclusion of strong female characters in the show is absolutely amazing and a decision that literally changed the game up to this point. Up to this point, there really weren't any strong female characters in animated shows like these. Sure, you had She-Ra, Sailor Moon, and Gem in this genre, but really nothing of note aside from those shows, and those were about 10-15 years ago at this point. It was incredibly refreshing to see Katara, Azula, and Toph in this show kicking major ass, and proving what badasses women could truly be. Speaking from personal experience, my fiancé has noted Katara as a huge inspiration for her growing up, and helped shape her into the strong and independent woman she is today. For me, that is the true mark of a great show. If it has the ability to influence its audience on this sort of level, it certainly can't be ignored. In addition to the female stereotypes being thrown out the window in this show, Another classic stereotype that's nixed is the notion of good and evil being completely separated. In this show, there's no good and there's no evil. There are characters that believe what they're doing is right and good, and none of it is shown as really evil per se. There's no, I'm evil for the sake of being evil. Everyone has their own motivations, and for the most part, those motivations can be justified in one way or another. It is all up to the viewers to decide what side they want to be on, and the reasoning behind their choice. This is shown in a huge way during Zuko's big arc, as he struggles with himself and what he really wants out of his life. When he approaches Aang and his gang in efforts to join the group, he mentions that he's good now. He thought he was good before, but now he sees that he wants to be really good, which drives home the fact that everyone in this series has their own motivations and reasons for doing what they do and doing what they think is right. With all of these elements mixed into one, again pun intended, I can't not say that word because I'm a film major, and elements is kind of a big word in that niche. But with all of these elements mixed into one, it provides an extremely deep, rich, and satisfying experience to go through the show and take this emotional journey with the characters. But the show isn't all doom, gloom, emotion, and turmoil either. The huge inclusion of comedy in this show balances out all of the serious stuff perfectly, and provides moments where you literally laugh out loud due to the outrageous antics that just took place, or the simple joke that was thrown in unexpectedly, or the funny jab that was made at a character's expense. It's due to this humor that the emotional spectrum of the show ranges between full lighthearted and enclosing darkness, and it executes this range perfectly. You can literally feel any emotion on the human spectrum while watching this show, and I think that is a beautiful thing and a true lost art of media. With the ability to go through this wide range of emotions in just one show, and the inclusion of so many lesser explored artifacts such as female empowerment, mental illness, and general disabilities like Toph being a blind earthbender, and her literally being the best earthbender in the world, stuff like that really makes this show stand out, and makes it much more immersive and enjoyable for the audience. It is every single one of these factors that I've gone over today, and you can probably pick out some more that makes Avatar so great, and it was such a treat going through and enjoying these elements again after so many years that I watched it the first time. It truly is a once-in-a-generation show that I highly suggest you go back and watch. But those are just my opinions on Avatar: The Last Airbender. What do you guys think of the show? Let me know in the comments below, I'd love to hear your thoughts. And as always guys, thank you so much for watching, it really does mean the world to me. If you liked what you saw here, be sure to go down below, hit that subscribe button, and while you're down there, be sure to smash the like button and the notification bell to stay updated with the rest of my videos. Thanks guys, and as always, I'll see you next time.